So today I'm going to be talking about one of the biggest misconceptions that I see that contractors have about their Google business profiles. I see this time and time again in business, and it's actually a reason why they lose a lot of money and invest resources in the wrong areas, often work with agencies that aren't good. And if they understood this concept better, I think it would actually save them a lot of time and money, and they would see more results come in through the door as well. So, my name is Nitin. I'm here with Prime Contractor Leads, which is a premier digital marketing agency for contractors. So, let's jump into it. What I'm going to be talking about today is how your location of the GBP affects your business. So, diving into it, right? Location, location, location. This is so underrated, and I'm surprised more agencies don't talk about it, right? The thing is, your Google business profile, it's proximity based. So it only ranks you for a certain radius around your business. Your business is the center point. So don't think that if you're on the outskirts of San Antonio, you're going to be ranking in the center of San Antonio and getting leads from there, because Google is going to give priority to the businesses that actually have a physical location in the center. Those will always be prioritized. And how far out you can rank for your Google business profile, that depends a lot on your location and your competition, right? And what niche you're in. So, diving a bit more into it, your location, usually you're going to be maxed out around a 5 or 10 mile radius around your Google business profile. And so, just because you have a profile in a city doesn't mean you're going to cover all of it or even most of it. There are limits to what your Google business profile can do. And I find a lot of agencies, they don't operate in good faith. They tell their clients that they will rank them when it's actually really far away and there's no possibility. Like I've worked with a few clients, who were told by previous agencies that they would rank them for the center of the city and get them leads from there, when it's just not even physically possible with the location of the GMB. And so how you can better understand, right, is you need a grid scan tool, something like a Local Falcon or Bright Local. I'll do another video on useful tools for contractors, but for now, these are the ones I would recommend. And first, you can start by even searching some of your competitors, right? Look for the ones that are crushing it on Google Maps and see how far out they're ranking. So if you're in a place like New York, right, it's probably like, even if you just rank 1 or 2 miles and dominate that little area, you can probably get a lot of leads. And I'm going to show you on the next slide how big of a difference location can make. But it's a great idea to start by searching your best performing competitors and looking at their maps. And that'll give you an idea of what you can actually aim for and what's possible in this location. And then second, you can Google your business for the keywords that you want, right? So if you're a roofing company, potentially you want roof repair, roof coating, keywords like that. And you can see what you're ranking like right now. And typically for most people, you haven't fully optimized your profile, so you haven't met your potential. So you can get an idea of, based on what your competitors are doing, how much more you can actually rank. And that's where your GMB probably will be maxed out, even if you have amazing reviews, all the backlinks you need, all the traffic, engagement. You're going to be maxed out on your location at some point. So let's take a look, right? Here on the left, I have one of my clients who've been working with, and this is a 20 by 20 mile grid. So this is huge for Google business profiles, and they're ranking very well among most of the map. But that has to also do with the fact that they're in a lower competition industry and in a location that has it's not as urban, right? So they're if you're out in the Midwest somewhere or like in a smaller town, you can probably rank for higher because there's just less competition. So this one, it's in a pretty competitive niche, but given the location and the number of competitors, it's possible to rank them for their 20 by 20 mile grid. And at this point, if you come and show us your grid, like grid in your business and your location, we can tell you like what's going to be realistic for you. And on the right, you have a client which on the surface looks like they might be doing bad, but given where they're located and the amount of competition there are, even on a 10 by 10 mile grid, we've seen positive traction in just a month. The grid looked worse than this before. So, this is something you should start being happy with if you're in a much more competitive niche. And a 10 mile by 10 mile radius, especially somewhere like New York, even that's probably not going to be possible. So your location makes a really big difference for what you can actually rank for. And, if you've done the research, you looked at it, and you've kind of maxed out your grid, right, for your Google business profile, the best solution I have for you is actually renting a second place and opening a second Google business profile. And this is what I actually recommend to clients a lot of times, because if we've maxed out one of your Google business profiles, it doesn't make sense to invest more money there and try and push the radius further, because GMBs, they have a max capacity, and this is the thing that most people don't understand. And when you get a second location, it's actually connected to your brand and the first GMB. So it can actually start ranking pretty quickly if you've done the hard work to already establish those things. So the investment in rent for a small place closer to where you want to rank and get leads from, that could be well worth the return, just paying $1,000, $1,500, whatever. And often you just need the location and some signage, your logos, and that's enough to get you verified on Google Business Profiles. So that's often the best pathway for those that have maxed out 1 GMB and are looking to actually dominate a space. It's very, very tough to dominate a location with just 1 GMB. You want to keep expanding and expanding and building your presence there. The other option you have is, to focus more on organic rankings, but I don't recommend this for local service businesses such as contractors, because, most of your customers are searching through Google Maps and that's how they're finding you. So organic, yes, it can help, but it often takes longer. You need to invest more time and resources, and it takes longer to catch up with more established competitors. So always you should be investing in organic, and it is really important because it's also connected to your Google Business Profile. But ultimately, opening that second Google Business Profile, that's going to give you your best return. And look, I would focus on opening a real and verifiable GMB, right? There are a lot of people out there that are buying fake GMBs and setting it up that way. But in the end, you're investing resources in something that you can't verify if it's ever reported by a competitor or some issue pops up. So I would recommend actually investing in a location. And, every day Google is getting better and better about verifying these things. So ultimately speaking, I think if most contractors understood the limitations of their Google Business Profiles and the role that location plays, they wouldn't waste time investing so much money and resources in the wrong areas, and they would understand how to actually dominate a space and where you should invest. And it also will help you look out, if you're looking at working with agencies, if they're telling you things that, after this video, you've watched this video, if they're telling you that they'll rank you for things that don't seem possible, it's probably too good to be true. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you need more local SEO resources, we published a free guide that you can get on our website. And you can also get a free consultation with us if you're interested in working with us. So I will catch you guys around.